Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Good morning, morning. Morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever the case may be. All right, start with a prayer. Father, we are grateful for the privilege and the opportunity of the blessing of this presence, for the ability to be able to face our obstacles and overcome them, for the ability to bear witness to Thee, and for the ability to be able to serve Thee. Father, we ask for Thy presence now to guide us in this conversation. In these things we pray in Thy Son's name. Amen. Well, since it's a conversational video, we got to do this whole disclaimer thing. I might have to start putting a disclaimer on all my videos just because I don't understand the world right now. All right, welcome to Hobo Hideaway. This segment's called Talking Shit. I'm your host, Jack Schitt. Welcome. Just so we're all on the same page, everything that is shared here is strictly for educational, documentary, and entertainment purposes only. We are not trying to buy, sell, or trade anything. Nothing for sell or trade. We don't buy, sell, or trade, period. Also, keep in mind that all the opinions shared here are solely to whoever is behind the mic or the keyboard posting comments. And please keep your comments polite and respectful at all times. And remember, kindness is key. Key. Ugh. So yeah, hurting today. Back pain, neck pain, all kinds of pain. I mean, that's just the way. Yesterday I pushed myself and did things that my body wasn't used to doing. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. Oh, I had so much fun yesterday. I do that. I have spurts of energy and then burnout. Spurts of energy and burnout. You know, people have told me my whole life or asked me my whole life, how come you can't just level out, man? Well, I tried to explain to when I was younger, I had no clue. You know, who of us does have any clue when we're young? You know, but I had no clue when I was younger. And even as a young adult, when I thought I knew everything, I still didn't know nothing. True fact. But throughout the years, I was able to go to some counseling and take some classes on the subject and do some other research, and found out that in the biological world of things, when it comes to the mental wiring of, you know, the way the brain works, the computer that is your brain, and the synapses connecting and this and that, and due to environmental issues and traumas and circumstances and everything else in life, we rewire that brain and things, you know, get twisted up and whatnot. You know, I like to describe it as I got a bunch of little monkeys running around up there with their own little circus. Yep, and they play a lot of little games and they have a lot of little conversations, and sometimes they include me and sometimes they don't. And talking to people in this world, I come to find out that it's like that for the majority. You know, anybody that has any kind of inner monologue, it's like that for them. But people that have no inner monologue, it's not like that for them. But from my understanding of the way that really works is most people without any inner monologue have no soul. They're just like NPCs running around. But it's the one with the inner monologue, you know, where we think and we can hear ourselves thinking, and we have all these conversations and we see things and images and whatnot. We're the ones with the souls. We're the players of this video game that is life. You know? Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just heard that. I don't know what's true or not. And that's the thing, you know, I talk about things all the time, and people come in who don't know me, and they're like, what the hell are you saying, man? That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. And if people really took the time to get to know me, they'd realize that I'm not trying to say anything is true. I don't believe in that. What do you mean you don't believe in truth? Well, that's because truth is dictated. Truth is altered. Just like all of our history, just like anything and everything that we ever been taught in life, it's all altered and it's not complete. And more than likely it ain't true. None of it. Oh, Jack, how can you say that? We know all about the infinite truth and all that. No, I don't think anybody on this planet, nobody in this game, nobody in this physical realm of existence knows anything about truth. And that's just my opinion, of course, just because that's been my experience, that throughout all of my travels and experiences of interactions with other people and the relationships that I have gotten into, and now interacting with somebody and having something to do with something, from my perspective, is not necessarily the same as a relationship. A relationship is when you really get to know somebody, where you listen to them tell their stories, you watch their body language and their facial expressions, you hear their tones and their voice. You can't even acquire that kind of relationship with social media, text messaging, and things of that nature. It's just not even possible. With the world that we live in today, my personal opinion is the best way is through the video chat. But face-to-face is always the best way. And we've lost that in our world today. We're disconnected from one another. And every single moment that goes by, we become more and more disconnected. And we no longer have those involved relationships with other humans. And around us, our relationships that we used to have are dissolving. They're evolving, devolving. I think devolving is probably the better word for it. But instead of going and hanging out with folks face to face, we do this video chat, text messaging, phone calls, whatever. And it's gotten so bad with me, and this is me right here. This is how I communicate with the world anymore. Through making videos, no other interaction. It's just me and my higher power. But see, that's the only relationship that, well, I mean, even I like the relationships with my family and my friends. Those are very important to me. But this relationship with my higher power, with the God of my understanding, from my perspective, that's the most important relationship that I could ever nurture. And I've got to nurture it. I got to do the work every single day to nurture that relationship. Otherwise, it can devolve. It can fall apart. And now my spiritual higher power will never abandon me, but it's always me who gets distracted by all the worldly things, worried about having friends or someone liking me or making an impression or whatever. And mostly I just worry about not doing any harm to anybody or saying the wrong thing that could cause problem. I don't want to influence somebody the wrong way. I've always throughout my life had a tendency of wanting to go do the wild and crazy thing, the impulsive thing. We only get to live this life one time. That's it. We only get to live this life one time. Of course, I say that in that breath, but I also believe in reincarnation. But it's true. We only get to live this life one time. I do also believe, oh, I hate that word believe. I prescribe to the ideology and theology that the light at the end of the tunnel is rebirth out of the vaginal canal, the birth canal. Yeah, that's the one I like to subscribe to the most. None of us really know anything. No, I don't have a clue. Not one single bit. I can take it on faith. This is the one that my spiritual higher power guides me toward. That's the one I adhere to. But this life, this body that I'm inhabiting right now, I don't get to ever inhabit it again. Once I am done with this physical body, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. So I live the best life that I can and always have, and I suppose I always will. And I try to put as much into it as I can because it's just this tiny, tiny, tiny little shrinking, time span of things that just ain't going to be here no more pretty soon. And it's for all of us, it's fleeting. Every time I lose a family member or a friend, I'm reminded of that. Even when I lose my dogs or my cats, I'm reminded of that. Oh, man. Anyway. So, yeah, I overdid it yesterday trying to do and do and do. I like to do for other people and I like to help other people. And I spend a lot of my time in my day living my life with other people in mind. And I forget to take time for myself a lot. And when I do that, I get burned out really bad, just burned out because I'm giving all my energy away and I'm not replenishing it. You got to replenish it so you can have it to expend, It's always flowing. And if you block that and you put a dam to block that flow, then it puddles up, whatever, like a big old lake. And if you don't have any kind of release for that water, that dam will explode and then there'll be a flood of emotion, of energy. And it's really hard to control that when it happens. You can't just take in that negative energy and bottle it up all the time and just take it in and hold it all the time. You got to be able to express it too. So when all this energy is coming in from the world, for me, I got to be able to transfer that negative energy into a positive energy. And that's why I do all my arts and crafts that I do and stay busy the way I do, is because that helps me transfer whatever energy into something good and then push it back out in the world as something good. That's what I try to do. But when I bottle all that up and don't have any kind of outlet, it'll break and then I spew negative all over in it like a big flood, destroying everything. And that's been pretty much normal throughout my life, and I've come to find that it's a pretty normal human factor for everybody. So I just got to take my time and I got to recuperate myself. When my body's hurting, the pain and all that, those are the body's way of telling me something wrong, and I got to take care of it. Oh, yeah. So that's what I got to do today, is just work on myself. I got most of the projects that are supposed to go out this weekend done. And then I still got to finish a bunch of stuff for Mother's Day. And then there's a few for birthdays after that. And then it's going to be pretty much all my energy to the garden and the backyard. And I might be able to piddle around. During the summertime, I spend most of the summertime working outside, taking care of the landscaping in the yard and all that, because the neighbors like to piss and moan about how ugly my house is. Or, I say it like that. I should rephrase it. In the past, the neighbors have pissed and moaned and complained to the city about my yard being unkempt. And when I say neighbors, I mean anybody, somebody in this township, somebody in the city. I don't know who it is. I have no clue. It could be someone living right next door to me. I have no idea. Or it could be somebody from across the town. I don't know. The alley that goes past my backyard there is very well traveled. But I don't never could even understand why somebody from somewhere else thinks it's okay to come look in my backyard and decide how it should be. I mean, it's not all pretty with flowers and garden beds and raised beds. I'm working on it, but I'm only one person. I can only do so much, and I'm a broken down old man. I don't got any fancy tools or tractors or big equipment to do the work for me or make it easier. It's just me, a shovel, a wheelbarrow, and a rake. A lawnmower that I push and walk behind. Old school way. I used to have one of them old lawnmowers that did that when the wheels pushed, no gas needed, no motor, just this spinny little blade thing. I still got it. It's in the basement, but the handle part that I hold on to broke, and I don't got a welder to fix it. And things, stuff, life. But it's in the basement so that someday maybe I'll be able to get a welder and fix it or something. I don't know, maybe. That's what I do. I hold on to things forever until I could use them again or somebody could use them. And I do quite often turn a lot of my junk into my art projects. I've done that from time to time. Anyway, burnout, man. Burnout, baby. It's a real thing. And for me, it's pretty common. And there's, the thing is, I give myself my energy away and give it away and give it away. And I try to focus on that, giving that energy away to those who are in real need. But the thing is, there are so many out there that they're not in real need. They're quite capable of doing for themselves, but they just take and take and take and take and take from anybody and everybody that are willing to give. There's two kinds of people in this world, There's givers and there's takers. And the givers got to set the boundaries because the takers, they never will. The takers just take and take and take and take. But it's the givers. They got to set the boundaries and say, no, enough's enough. Otherwise, it's never enough. Burnout's a real thing, man. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, there's a lot of good folks out there, too, that give right back and do for you right back and share, and that's nice. The best thing that I found that anybody could ever give me in return for anything I've ever given them is their time and their energy. For me, it's usually just a shoulder to cry on and an ear to listen to me. Just because, I get all whiny like I am right now. So for me to spew like this, and for anybody out there who watches and listens, you as the listener, you are giving me right now the best gift that anybody could ever give me, ever. Truly, ever. You're giving me your time. You're giving me your ear to listen to my whiny little crying. Yeah, I almost said that other word, but I don't know who's listening, and I thought that, nobody was listening for the longest time, so I was just spewing all kinds of vulgarity and vernaculars that are very colorful, man, that probably make a sailor man blush. But then I found out that my nieces and nephews were listening, and my mom's listening, even though she tells me she's not, but Yeah, I know you're listening, Ma. I love you. So I'm trying not to curse and so much and all that, and watch my tonnage and all that whatnot. And it's more than that. I come to find out that there's other moms listening. There's other nieces and nephews listening, and maybe my kids and grandkids are listening too. And so I try to thinking about others, but that's okay. It's okay to live my life for others, but I got to live my life for myself too. You know, and that goes for each and every single buddy out there. It's okay to do for others and live our lives for others, but we can't do it to the point where we make ourselves the martyr. We can't make ourselves out to be the victim when we feel that burnout. That's not the truth. And then we're not being honest with ourselves when we do that. And that's the most important thing, is we need to be honest in all of our endeavors. And that starts right here with ourselves. We got to be honest with ourselves. We got to be honest with our way of thinking. We got to be honest in our hearts and our intent. And that will then domino effect and ripple effect to the rest of the world, to the butterfly effect, to the all of existence, to all of our interactions and relationships. Practice being honest with ourselves. It's probably the hardest thing to do for a lot of people, but that's where it starts. And the second one is to treat everything in existence with respect and consideration. Everything. That means other people. That means ourselves. And again, it starts with yourself. If you can respect yourself and have consideration for yourself, that's where that taking care of yourself falls into play. If I can do that, if I can have respect for myself and have consideration for myself and be honest with myself, then I'm able to function in the real world and able to have interactions with other people comfortably. But it's always the hardest part. It's that self. It's treating yourself with that love, respect, and consideration. That's why it's important to sit in front of the mirror, use these videos where I'm looking at myself in this video camera and I'm talking to myself. Talk to myself in a better way instead of talking to myself angry. Talk to myself with kindness and talk to myself with love. You know, we get convinced throughout our lives from all these people that we interact with, family, friends, teachers, educators, whatever. And we get put down, belittled, whatever, manipulated in such a way that we start to believe it and think of it our own selves and think negatively and doubt ourselves. We're all born with this intuition. We're all born connected to the divine. And it's all of these things that we have and interact in our lives that disconnect us from our relationship with our higher power. Just like it disconnects us with relationships with other people. And in the end, it disconnects us from ourselves. If I'm sitting all day long watching YouTube or any other kind of media, I'm not spending any real time getting my own stuff done or even taking care of my own inner self with the inner reflection. I'm too busy looking without to bother looking within. And the natural law is, as within, the same as without. So as I see the world within myself, that's the same way I'm going to see the world outside of myself. And that's usually how it works. As above, same as below. So when I'm sick in my mind, in my mental, spiritual, and emotional self, then my body, physical self ends up sick as well. And vice versa. When I heal myself in a spiritual, mental, and emotional way, then I'm able to heal my body in a physical way. When I love myself within and my world within is beautiful to me and I love it and I enjoy it, that I'm able to love and enjoy the world without and see all the beauty that's without. Those are natural laws and they're unchangeable. Well, with all that, I guess I must have gotten whatever out because I feel a little bit better and I feel relaxed, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Talk it out, get it out. You can't keep it pinned up. You got to get it out. Let it go, no matter what it is, and then just let it go. Let go and let God. That's the way the saying goes, and that's how it works. Let it go. Give it to the universe. Give it to existence. Have real faith that existence, God, will provide and take care of all the things that are necessary. Even if it doesn't work out the way I wanted it to, it worked out the way it was supposed to, because that's just the way. At any rate, I need to get to my work for the day. I slept in and woke up late today. It was wonderful. Wonderful. Sleep in. I highly recommend it every now and again. Oh, man. But at least I got the lawn mowed yesterday. That was cool. It's supposed to rain again today. At any rate, good luck to everybody out there. I hope you all fare well in these storms that are coming. They're getting more and more intense. I hope you're able to get your chores or whatever it is that you want to get done. Most importantly, I hope you're able to love and enjoy. This life is short, and the only real meaning is that love and joy that you receive and achieve through true relationships. That means interacting. That means nurturing. That means being present in the right here, right now. It's called present for a reason. It's because it's a gift. Stay blessed, travelers. Till next time, remember, kindness is key, and I love you. Later.